What if I told you the Tree of Life isn't just a symbol, but a living map of your soul, a blueprint encoded with the divine architecture of reality itself? Not just an ancient glyph etched into esoteric texts, but a cosmic mirror reflecting the totality of who you are, who you were, and who you are meant to become. For centuries, mystics, sages, and secret societies have studied this mysterious diagram, whispering of its power to unlock hidden dimensions of the self. But somewhere along the way, its true purpose was obscured, reduced to abstract theory or religious dogma. The Tree of Life, as taught in Kabbalah, is far more than a spiritual curiosity. It's a multi-dimensional key. Each of its 10 spheres, called Sephiroth, is a gateway, and every path between them a lesson your soul must master. In this video, we're going to uncover what no one told you about the Tree of Life. You'll learn why this symbol holds the secrets of your soul's journey, how it maps the divine within you, and how, if you're ready, it can guide you back to your original light. This isn't just knowledge, it's initiation. Ready to descend so you can rise? Let's begin. Long before the Tree of Life became a diagram tucked into the pages of mystical Kabbalistic texts, its roots stretched across civilizations, cloaked in secrecy and guarded by initiates. Some trace its origin to the ancient Hebrews, specifically the esoteric teachings known as Kabbalah, which emerged as an oral tradition alongside the Torah. But echoes of the tree resound much earlier in the sacred groves of the Druids, the Assyrian carvings of the World Tree, and the cosmic Yggdrasil of Norse myth. Always a tree, always a symbol of the bridge between the seen and the unseen. In the Sefer Yetzirah, the Book of Formation, the earliest known Kabbalistic text, the universe is said to have been formed through 32 mystical paths of wisdom. These became the foundation for what we now know as the Tree of Life, 10 Sephiroth, or emanations, connected by 22 paths, corresponding to the letters of the Hebrew alphabet and the archetypes of the tarot. But this was never meant to be a map of knowledge. It was a map of becoming. To the initiated, each sephira represented not a place but a state of consciousness, a divine attribute that exists both within God and within the human soul. Keter, the crown, is pure will before thought. Malkuth, the kingdom, is the manifest world, the earth beneath your feet. Between them lies the entire journey of incarnation, separation, struggle, and return. So why isn't this taught more widely? Because the tree does something dangerous. It reveals that divinity is not somewhere out there. It's in you. The church, the state, even many religious institutions throughout history feared what the tree implied, that each individual has the potential to awaken godlike power, to ascend the ladder of the Sephiroth, and to remember their divine origin without the need for intermediaries. And so, the deeper meanings were buried under allegory, encoded in symbols, hidden in plain sight. But the truth never dies. It waits, and for those who seek, the tree is still alive, whispering from the roots of your being to the crown of your spirit. To understand the Tree of Life is to understand your soul's architecture. Imagine it not as a flat diagram, but as a multidimensional ladder of light, descending from the infinite, fragmenting into form, and then calling you back toward unity. This is the journey of the soul, encoded in 10 Sephiroth and the 22 pathways between them. At the top of the tree is Keter, the crown, pure being, unmanifest potential. It's not thought, not feeling, not even identity. It is the silent spark before creation, the breath before the first word. When mystics speak of returning to the source, they are speaking of Keter. From Keter flows Chokma, wisdom, the raw flash of inspiration, masculine in energy, formless but potent. And paired with it, Bina, understanding, the sacred womb of form, the divine feminine, shaping the chaos into meaning. These three are the supernal triad, the abstract realms of divinity, far above duality, ego, or time. But the light must descend. Next comes Chesed, mercy, the expansive force of love, generosity, and cosmic kindness. Then Gevurah, severity, the force of boundaries, judgment, and discipline. These are not opposites, but complements. Without Gevurah, Chesed becomes indulgence. Without Chesed, Gevurah becomes cruelty. Their harmonized balance births Tiferet, beauty, the heart of the tree, the Christ center, where divine will and human experience intertwine. This is where the seeker begins to awaken, no longer lost in the world, but not yet ascended. Tiferet is the sun within you, the soul realizing itself as a reflection of the divine. Below this lies Netzach, victory, the passion of emotion, art and desire, and Hod, splendor, the intellect, the mind, the architect of logic. These are the legs of your inner temple, movement and structure, chaos and clarity. Then Yesod, foundation, the subconscious, the dream realm, the shadow and the seed. It is the last veil before manifestation. And finally, Malkut, the kingdom, the physical world, your body, your everyday life. But even this, according to Kabbalah, is divine, just dense light, spirit, asleep in matter, waiting to awaken. And what about the 22 paths connecting these spheres? They are the unseen roads of transformation, the tests, the inner alchemy that occurs when you move from mercy to severity, from intellect to emotion, from shadow to light. Each path is a lesson, each path is you. But here's the secret no one tells you. You're not climbing the tree to become divine. You're climbing it to remember that you already are. And with that, we descend deeper into the hidden meanings and long forgotten truths that lie between the branches. Now we step beyond the surface into the shadows between the Sephiroth, where the tree of life begins to reveal its paradoxes, its secrets, and its silent warnings. For while the tree appears linear, symmetrical, even serene, it is anything but. Each sephir contains its own duality. Each path between them is a trial by fire. And at the heart of this sacred system lies a mystery few dare to contemplate, the abyss. The abyss isn't marked on the tree, but it looms silently between Bina and Chesed, between the supernal realms and the world of form. To cross it is to let go of all illusions of self. It is where the ego shatters, where mystics report a terrifying silence, a death not of body but of identity. This is where the false self dies or clings and descends into illusion. In Kabbalistic lore, this fall gives rise to Da'at, the hidden Sephirah. Never officially on the tree, yet always present, Da'at is knowledge, but not the safe kind. It is the serpent's whisper in Eden. It is Prometheus stealing fire. It is forbidden insight that either liberates or corrupts. Some schools of thought treat Da'ats as a gateway to divine union, others as a spiritual trap, the illusion of knowing without true wisdom. But one thing is clear, no one crosses from the lower realms to the higher without facing it. And then there is the Qliphoths, the shells or husks that mirror the tree of life in reverse. They are not merely evil, they are imbalanced forces, divine energies twisted by ego, fear, or unchecked desire. Where chesed becomes unchecked indulgence, the Qliphoth devours. Where Gevura becomes cruelty, the Qliphoth enslaves. These shells form the tree's dark reflection, what some call the tree of death. But to the mystic, even this serves a purpose. For what is shadow but light unrecognized? This is why so much misunderstanding surrounds the tree. Many only see its symbolism, its pretty geometry. Few understand it as a map of initiation. Because to walk the tree is not to read about it, it is to live it. Each Sephira corresponds not just to ideas, but to initiatory phases in your own life. Times of expansion and contraction, times of heartbreak and rebirth. Moments when you must surrender everything and choose whether to fall or to rise. And here's the truth, the tree isn't something out there to be studied from a distance. It's already growing inside you. Every challenge you face, every truth you awaken to, every illusion you shed is another step upward, another path illuminated. But knowing the tree changes you, and once seen, it cannot be unseen. The question is, will you follow it? The tree of life is not just a mystical diagram to ponder. It's a living guide to transformation. And its power lies not in theory, but in practice. Each Sephira is not merely an abstract concept. It corresponds to an aspect of your consciousness, a force within your psyche, a challenge you're meant to embody, master, and ultimately transcend. So how do we begin working with it? First, know where you are on the tree. Take a moment, reflect. Are you feeling lost in the material world, weighed down by routine and distraction? You're in Malkuth, the kingdom. This is where many begin, cut off from their higher essence. But the key is not to escape it, it's to recognize the sacred within it. Make your body a temple. Make your life an offering. Or maybe you're wrestling with strong emotions, creative desires, or overactive thoughts. You may be navigating Netzach, Hod, or Yesod, the emotional and intellectual forces that shape your inner world. Here, journaling, dream work, and meditations are your allies. Begin observing your patterns, track the illusions, strengthen the foundation. Second, work with the Sephiroth as archetypes. Each sphere is a face of the divine and a mirror of you. To balance chesed, ask, where can I show more compassion but also set healthy boundaries? To understand Gevura, ask, where must I wield my power with integrity rather than control? Use mantra, visualization, or meditation to attune to the energy of a specific Sephira. For Sephiroth, meditate on the sun within your chest. Feel the balance of will and humility. Ask, what is the deepest truth of my heart? For Baina, sit in silence, embrace stillness. Ask, can I hold space for the unknown without rushing? To understand, these are not passive reflections, they are activations. Third, climb the tree with intention, not speed. There is no race. Each path reveals itself when you're ready. Practice what the mystics called pathworking, guided journeys through the tree. Visualize yourself walking the path between Sephiroth. Encounter symbols, listen, record what arises. Over time, you'll notice synchronicities, dreams, and inner shifts aligning with your work. Fourth, ritual, rhythm, and reverence. Light a candle and contemplate one Sephira each week. Chant its name, study its planetary and angelic correspondences, draw its symbol. Ask, how does this energy live within me today? Integrate it with action. Balance study with experience. Finally, honor the abyss. When you hit moments of deep confusion, ego death, or existential unraveling, don't flee. You are touching the earth. This is sacred ground. When the ego dies, the soul breathes. Practice surrender. Let go of the need to understand. Let silence teach you. Remember, the tree is not something you conquer. It's something you become. You are the kingdom. You hold the foundation. You radiate beauty. You embody wisdom. And in every moment of courage, love, discipline, and truth, you're walking the path back to your divine origin. The Tree of Life is not merely a symbol. It is a sacred code embedded in your very being. A divine algorithm written not in numbers or lines, but in the experiences that shape your soul. Its 10 Sephiroths are not external rungs to climb, but internal realms to awaken. They are the thresholds you pass every time you forgive instead of judge, love instead of fear, rise instead of retreat. This tree is not static. It grows with you. It is you. But here is the mystery. The tree is both a descent and an ascent. You descended from the crown of lights, Keter, into form, into Malkuths, into this world of matter and time. And now the invitation is to ascend. Not to escape life, but to illuminate it, to spiritualize the material, to bring heaven to earth. What no one told you about the Tree of Life is that it's not just about knowing, it's about remembering. Remembering the divine spark within you that was never lost, only forgotten. Remembering that each step you take toward the divine is a step the divine takes toward you. So ask yourself now, not with your mind, but with your heart, where am I on the tree? What am I being called to integrate, to balance, to embody? What is my next step on the path, not towards something greater, but toward the greatness already within me? Let this be your initiation, not into mysticism as an idea, but as a living path. And if this awakened something in you, if the tree stirred and whispered in your soul, then you are not alone. You are part of an ancient lineage, walking a path walked by prophets, poets, mystics, and seekers for thousands of years. Now it's your turn. If this resonated with you, share it with others on the path. Comment below. Where are you on the tree, and what have you remembered? The journey is just beginning. Until next time, walk in beauty, climb with courage, and may the tree guide you home.